Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 6 of Dearest series. Okay, so where I left off from the last video was I was talking about playing basketball. I think I was in the second grade at the time, and I got into an altercation with someone who used to be a childhood friend. Okay, so the part where I left off at was where he punched me in the stomach. Now, I wanted to remind myself because I almost forgot to leave out this important detail. So when I was hitting him with the side of my fist where my pinky is right here, just like that, like a hammer, like kind of how like a hammer goes down from that angle. Because I wasn't trying to hurt him, like I wasn't trying to like actually fist fight the man. I just wanted to show him that I wasn't okay with being pushed around while playing basketball. Like, how did it go from, all of us playing basketball, being friendly, we're having fun, we're having a good time, and then it went from that to you punching me in the gut. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I will admit though, like when he started fouling me and it got to the point where it was clear he wasn't gonna stop, I started fouling him back. I'm gonna be honest about that. I started fouling him back, getting the ball, and then it got to the point where every time I tried to shoot, whether it was a jump shot or a layup, he would push me to the ground. That was the moment where I got up and I started hitting him. And I did start hitting him first. Well, as far as the fighting is concerned, he was already hitting me and fouling me and pushing me before we actually started fighting. But I will be honest, I was the one that initiated the fight, the fist fight. But like I said, I wasn't hitting him in that way where I was like, pow, 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 pow. You know what I mean? I was hitting him like this. Because, like I said, I wasn't trying to, I was sending a message that, dude, like, stop hitting me, stop pushing me. I'm not okay with it. I want to still play ball, and it don't have to get like this, but, like, stop hitting me. So when I was, hitting him with those girly punches, he punched me as hard as he could. So then I got up again, and I started hitting him in the same manner. And it left, like, little scratches, like, I think, like, on, like, where his nose was, like, on the side of his nose. Um, it's just, like, little scratches. And I mean, because at this point, like I had learned my lesson from when I got into a fight. I think this was when I was in first grade. When I think I had said this in the other series, but I accidentally made a guy's nose bleed. One of my classmates' nose bleed because I got into a fight. So that kind of when I was getting into this fight at the basketball court, I had to think in my head before I put my hands on him. I can't punch him the same way I punched the other guy because it could get worse. So I'm not gonna say I was giving him love taps, but it was definitely girly punches to kind of give him that warning that I'm aware that you're fouling me, I'm aware that you're being aggressive with me, and I don't appreciate it. So that was what those punches symbolized. Now, for him, he might have interpreted it as something different because I was hitting him hard enough to leave a couple of scratches on his face, but definitely not enough to get punched like that. Like the way I got punched, um, it was kind of like one of those things where everybody was asking him like, why did you punch her like that? You know what I mean? Like, why was you fouling her in the first place? But then again, it's like you know she's a girl. You know you started it. Why did you hit her like that? So he didn't answer. Every time somebody asked him why he did that, why he responded like that, he didn't answer. So anyway, so when I got up and I started hitting him after he punched me in the stomach, he punched me as hard as he could in the stomach again. So I'm sure you could imagine at this point, I'm surprised I didn't like Like, at least I'm surprised I wasn't knocked unconscious, because when I was 7 years old, or I think I was 8 actually, I might have been 8, but like I was very tiny. I was very tiny, very frail. Like I have muscle, but I was very, very tiny, very tiny. And around that age was where my asthma was acting up the most. So you know what I mean. When he punched me the second time, like I could not, like, I mean, I could have kept punching him, but I knew that if I got up and I punched him again, he was going to punch me in the stomach again. Because I believe, I mean, from my perspective, looking back on it, I didn't know why he fouled me, why he punched me so hard. You know what I mean? I didn't know why he did that. And to this day, just looking back now that I'm a little bit older, um, I believe that he punched me in the stomach intentionally, knowing that I had asthma. I believe that that was intentional. I mean, of course, he intentionally punched me in the stomach, but I believe that he intentionally punched me in the stomach, because he knew it would trigger my asthma. I do. It got to the point where he almost got beat up by the other kids just for the simple principle of him acting the way he did. To be honest, I will be honest. I was warned to either possibly opt out of the game, or to work around his. Well, at first I was warned, like, to kind of, like, my sister actually was the one that warned me. Okay, so when we were playing, and she notices that he's following me like a motherfucker. She's like, yo, like, something's off. You know what I mean? Like, something's off about him. Like, just be careful. So I was like, okay. And this is like in the beginning when she had warned me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to renaissance my way out of this. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's clearly playing prison ball, and I was like, okay, let me try to rely on some basketball tricks to get me out of this. And that was and it worked at first. Because when he was fouling me, it was very subtle at first. Like, kind of like, have y'all seen the movie? If y'all seen the movie The Longest Yard, it didn't escalate to that point at first, but it was like subtle fouling. It was very subtle. So then I used basketball tricks to kind of, weasel my way out of it, and it did work at first. But then he started fouling me more aggressively. Like, it was clear he was fouling me. Like, sometimes he would just flat out, like, he would use sumo wrestling techniques to kind of like snatch the ball out of my hand and like kind of like knock me on the ground, like not necessarily pushing me, but like it wasn't even an and one. You know what I mean? It was just flat out fouling. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't real defense. It was flat out fouling. Like knocking me on the ground. Like, cause at first it was subtle, like, reaching, you know, just defensive fouling. And then it got to the point where it was like aggression. This is where he started to become more aggressive. So when he started to become more aggressive, I had to pass the ball more frequently than I already was. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a low key ball hog, but when I started seeing him get more and more aggressive, I was like, okay, I gotta start working with my teammates more often. So I would pass the ball, and we would still keep making shots like that. And I guess, it pissed him off even more. Now I was the I forget the name of the position. Starter. I don't know. Um, let's say I knew how to handle the rock. So I was like, I forget the name of the position because I haven't played basketball in so long. But yeah, yeah. So I was the one that started off with the ball, and I had to eventually pass. So it was kind of like, no matter how much I avoided him while I was playing the game, it was like he was my he was my defense. He just was my defense the entire game, and I was a starter. So I had to. throw the ball to my teammates, and then it depended on my teammates or whether or not they passed the ball back to me. And he was on my ass. He was on my ass, admittedly. Um, but anyway, so it got to the point where I would just pass the ball. Somebody passed the ball to me, and I would pass the ball back to somebody else so that they could shoot the ball because he was just getting too aggressive. I really did try everything I could originally to avoid his aggression because I wanted to play basketball. You know, I loved basketball as a kid, so I was like, no, I mean, I kind of want to still play. Like we're having a really good time, and it was very few moments where me and my sister got to play ball with other people outside of the neighborhood. It was very few moments where we got to go hang out with other kids outside of our school, outside of school groups or outside of that YMCA. So when we had those opportunities, me and my sister took it. It was just like bet, you know what I mean? And me and my sister were kind of like the power duo, really. And then whoever's on our team was like the dream team. Me and my sister were very good at basketball. For two girls, we were decent. We knew how to catch up with the boys. We weren't, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they had to explain everything to us. Like, me and my sister were really good. Whoever was like, me and my sister always had our minds made up that we'd be on the same team if possible. And we were. And like I said, anybody that was on me and my sister's team, like that was a dream team. Everybody tried to be on our team. That was just what it was. But anyway, so let me fast forward to the part where I'm passing other teammates more often because he's aggressive. So he's getting like more and more pissed off each time we make a shot. I mean, even if we're tied or they may be slightly winning, like, 1 or 2 points, the game is really intense because both teams are actually really good. Like, we're both really good. I wouldn't throw shade on the other teams because, like, we both put up a fight. And this was before things went bad. But things were going so good. Like, it was a really fun game. I actually had beside that situation that ruined it, like we were all having a really, really good time. And it just seemed like Ryan was getting more and more pissed off each time our team would put up a fight and, um, score a point, even if we were losing. So I guess I didn't really understand where the anger was coming from, and I wasn't upset at first. I was just like, what the heck is this dude's problem? So anyway, my sister was like, she warned me, and she was like, okay, something's not right. So I was like, okay, I'll try to figure it out. You know what I mean? And I did. And we were doing really good. We actually started winning. We won like 2 out of 3 games. And so we were going to go for 3 out of 5. Because we were doing my team was doing really good and we were winning. So then we played another game and this was 4 out of 5. But like I said, he was being aggressive and then they won the fourth game because he was fouling and cheating. So then we were on the last game, and I think they're on the 2 point lead. So I was going for a three, and I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember how it turned out because I just remember I was shooting for the three, and I think he might have elbowed me on the side or something, and I think that was when I snapped. But um, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think I was going for the three, and it looked like I was about to make it, and he elbowed me on the side, and I just blacked out. I don't remember. I really don't remember what happened after that. I just remember that was that moment when I start, punching him. But like I said, I wasn't hitting him like a boxer. I was just hitting him with the girly taps. That's all I remember from the point I was trying to shoot the three to end the tie, like the tiebreaker. And I really don't know. I think he gave me like a little jab, and I think he might have either blocked me from doing a three or I shot. Okay, I think he blocked me. He blocked me from shooting a three because it looked like I was gonna make it, and I guess he didn't want to take that risk. So he like I guess jabbed me on the waistband, and he just like took the ball and he kind of traveled. I'm not gonna lie. I guess like maybe he was so excited at the fact that he got the ball from me that he started traveling, and I think somebody on his team called it. I think it was getting to the point where some of his teammates were like, "Yo, like bro, you're tripping. Like you're fouling. You know, you're traveling. Like you're doing too much." And he was just basically like, like shut up. You know what I mean? Like he just had his mind made up that he was gonna win at all costs. And I don't remember how that game ended. I think he might have went for the layup and they won or something like that. But his teammates didn't support him anymore at that point because it was like, damn, we went from having a really fun and intense game to you ruining it. You know what I mean? And it was actually his teammate because at first the funny thing was his teammate, was like, like playfully bantering me or whatever, and my sister, like, because you know how when we play basketball, we talk shit, and so I'm not gonna lie, he was talking shit, and it was funny, and then it got to the point where towards the end of the game, he started to have respect for me and my sister. I think he was teasing because me and my sister were girls. I think that might have been what it was, or something like that. But he was like, you have to step your game up or whatever, and it was funny and it was cute, and I just remember him having like a newfound respect for me and my sister because we stepped our game up and we didn't like cheat our way. We didn't use our femininity to try to like make the guys feel bad. Like no, we was playing like but like D up. You know what I mean? Let's play ball. And his teammates started to have respect for me and my sister. And I just remember, I think I don't remember who Ryan's teammate was. I think it was his younger brother. Um, I think it was his younger brother Devin. Yeah, they were cool. But anyway, um, yeah. So towards the end of the game, they were really cool. But I just remember before the fight broke out, um, he came up to me and he said, "You know what? No matter what, like you guys won the game. You know what I mean? Like I think it was pride and why I kept going because I really wanted to finish the game. I had a really good time and I wanted to see it through, you know? But I remember he came up to me and he's like, no matter if you decide to end this game right now or, we keep going, you guys won. Like just like it was just nothing but respect. And he warned me too, and he was like, I know that my brother's tripping, but it's not worth it. And I at first I did agree with him. This was before the fight broke out. I did agree with him, but I wanted to see the game through. That I mean, I had no originally I had no problem with him at some point following me because I found ways around it, and I wanted to see the game through. But once he started pushing, like flat out, like pushing me on the ground when every time I'd make a shot, or he like when he elbowed me from and stopped me from like shooting a three, that's when I was like, okay, I'm about to put hands on this dude. Like that was when I decided to do that. And I just remember basically I walked away when he punched me in the gut the second time. I just walked away, and then I sat in the shade to kind of recuperate and get my breath back. I tried to drink some water, but it just wasn't going down at all. So I just remember just sitting there trying to like catch my breath, and I was crying because I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was scared. I thought I was gonna die. So then I got up and I started walking back to Ryan's mom's house, which her name is Christian. So I started walking back to her house, and my mom and sister were in the car because all the kids had gone home because they saw that they like it mean the game was ruined, so they all went home. Once they saw that I had already left, I guess they had went home at that time, and my mother saw me. My mother and my sister saw me, and my mother picked me up. Now, when my mother saw me, she had one of those famous reactions, the same reaction that she had when um, my purse got stolen inside the mall. That was the same reaction that she gave me when she saw me crying and barely walking and holding my stomach. And she was like, what the hell are you doing out here? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, blaming me as always. Um, it was basically along the lines of, what the fuck's your problem? What the fuck happened? Um, See, this is what you get for playing too much. Those type of response. I don't remember everything that she said, to be honest, because I was trying to breathe. And it was just too much. She was yelling. She was putting me down. It was too much all at once. So I kind of went into shock. And I don't remember from the point where she picked me up to where we got back to Ryan's house. I don't remember what happened from that time span because I was in shock and I kind of blacked out again. And I might have even passed out because I'm gonna be honest, I really flat out don't remember my mother driving me back to Ryan's house. Like, I don't remember. And I barely remember what happened the rest of that day. Um, but I just remember the only thing I remember was somehow magically I was inside a Christian's house. Now I don't know how the hell I got out the car. I don't remember because I'm telling you, like, it wasn't even the pain. I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. I don't even remember how the hell I got inside her house. But anyway, so when I got inside, um, I'm holding my stomach still, and basically his mom already knows what happened because the kids had already explained to her what happened. The kids explained to my mom, and the kids explained to Christian, which is Ryan's mom, what happened. And basically everybody knows that it's Ryan's fault except my mother, right? I mean, I'm sure some of y'all who've watched my other videos know that my mother seems to be the common denominator within all these events that take place, right? Isn't that strange how people who are not related to me or barely even know me respond correctly? But when it came down to my mother, on the other hand, she blamed me. It never really made sense to me. And these were things that, as a kid, these were red flags that I took a note of, that I wasn't necessarily able to do anything about until I got older, until I became a grown woman and was able to respond to it correctly and address it correctly without getting attacked. So when we got there, um, Ryan's mother approaches him and says, why did you respond that way? Why did you put your hands on her? And he refused to answer. I'm telling you, every time somebody asked him, why did he put his hands on me? He just didn't respond. You would think that he would say something, but he just refused to respond. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe because he knew he was guilty, he knew it was wrong, and he knew that he didn't have a valid reason. Maybe he wasn't willing to be honest as to what his reasons were, even if they were immoral. Um, so he wouldn't answer. So I remember his mother like whooped his ass in front of everybody because it was very brutal. Like, because the kids, like, when they told what happened, I was surprised actually, but they told the truth. They told the truth. They was like, basically, because his excuse was, oh well, she put her hands on me and look at the scratches on my face. So then she looked at me and I was like, I couldn't speak. But the kids were like, no, 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 no. He was fouling her the entire game, first of all. She wasn't doing nothing. Like, she was just playing basketball like the rest of us. He was fouling her. He was putting his hands on her. Then she defended herself. And then he punched her in the stomach as hard as he could twice. And then she looked right back at him. and was like, okay, so you're putting your hands on women, huh? After I specifically told you you're not supposed to hit a girl. I told you, you know better than that. And you know, I'm sure some of y'all can already put two and two together and figure out what happened after that. But she whooped his ass in front of everybody. Because he punched me in the stomach like that and was hitting me and putting his hands on me in front of everybody, his mother responded and whooped his ass in front of everybody. And then she gave him another ass whooping away from like she was on his ass because she could see how badly he like there was like bruises. Like it was a big ass red bruise on my stomach. She was like, "Let me see your stomach." And it was this big ass like you know how like somebody could have like an allergic reaction and they have swelling, or like like they get stung by a wasp and they got like that big old bump. That was how my stomach looked. It was like a big old rash and it was like a bump. It looked like I had got stung by 100,000 bees in one spot. So when she saw my stomach, like she whooped his ass away from everybody. And I guess like they had like I don't know if it was like a guest room or if it was like the basement in their house because they had a really big house. And like you could hear him crying because she was whooping him. I don't remember what she was. I think it was a black belt or something. I don't remember what she whooped him with, but she was not playing with his ass. But see, the reason why she whooped him like that was because like like if you saw how I was looking that day, you would know somebody put their hands on me. Like the way he punched me, you would think it was an adult. Like he punched me so hard, like I could barely even move or walk. Like I had to hold the chair. Like I could barely even stand up, but I had to go there to defend myself. But I couldn't even speak because he punched me so hard. And all the kids were there. I was actually surprised when I got to Ryan's mom's house, how damn near the entire like neighborhood was there as far as the kids were concerned. Like damn near everybody that was playing basketball was there telling the truth. I was surprised because most of the time when I got bullied, everybody either act like they didn't see nothing or they would flat out lie and blame me for it. So to have the kids basketball community be there and defend me in my honor without me being able to defend myself was a complete shock to me. But it was just because I mean his mother really did need to know um, how badly he was putting his hands on me. Like I had little bruises on my arm, little scratches on my arm, because he was fouling me. So his mother needed to see the injuries that he inflicted on me in order to make the fair judgment, which was understandable. That was her son. All she saw was like little scratches on his face that was starting to bleed. And so, of course, any mother would be concerned, and she had every right. But if it had not been for my sister reasoning with my mother, I don't even know if that conversation would have had been had, or I don't know if I would have been there to see the basketball community defending me. I don't think I would have been there because if my sister wasn't there reasoning with my mother, I'm sure I probably would have got an ass whipping too. To be honest with you, like because my mother immediately started blaming me. You know, just I think the only reason why my mother didn't put her hands on me was because she could see that I couldn't talk because I could not breathe. My mother was asking me what was going on and I couldn't respond. It wasn't that I chose not to, I just couldn't. And my mother was being forced to see how bad my injury was. Um, it was clear that she couldn't blame me for that one. So anyway, so yeah, I seen it and he got in trouble. Um, he got his ass whooped, and then I remember his twin brother came up to me and was like, "Why'd you snitch?" His twin's brother name was Brian, and Ryan and Brian were on the same team. But I just remember no matter like what his brother did wrong, he always had his brother's side, which is understandable because they were twins. But that was a situation that was clearly like Brian's fault. So his brother came up to me and was like, "Why'd you snitch? Why'd you get him in trouble?" And in my head, I'm thinking, I mean, I couldn't respond because I couldn't talk, but in my head, I was thinking, I didn't say anything. I didn't have to. Like, that was one of those many situations where even if I wanted to say something, I couldn't. There were witnesses, and I mean, the evidence was there because I couldn't breathe. So basically, Brian and my mother have the same response. Well, similar, blaming me for what happened, even though it was clearly not my fault. Um, so I was gonna say something like, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't tell anyone anything. But and then I was gonna say, how can you defend your brother when he was clearly in the wrong? Like, you knew he was wrong for coming at me like that. And so anyway, that day ended, and I don't remember what happened when I left. I don't like. I remember I was in the car. I don't even remember how I got there. I don't know if I was carried to the car. Like, I don't remember because I'm telling you, I was so damn weak. I'm surprised I even made it inside. My sister must have helped me in there or something. It had to have been some, like, she had to have, because I could barely walk. So I was in the car and we were leaving. And I just remember my mother was acting very skittish, very nervous, very paranoid. But this was after we left, like when we were in the car and my mom's driving off from Christian's house. And um, we're on our way. I'm thinking we're going home. But she ends up taking me and my sister to TGI Fridays. I liked the restaurant. I mean, I've always wanted to go. Like, I think I only went once, and the food was pretty good, so I wanted to go again. But I was talking about this like long before she took me that day. Um, I had been talking about going, like, oh, I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go, and like I said, I tried their food once, but never got to go again. And I remember bringing it up in the past before, but my mother was just shrug it off and ignore it. And I just remember, like I said, I'm thinking that we're going home on the way while we're leaving Christian's house, and then we end up going to TGI Fridays. And, you know, I don't know. It's just my mother seems very scared, very nervous, very paranoid. If she brings me inside, me and my sister inside, and I was like, why are we going to TGI Fridays? I thought we were going home. And she was kind of like, shh, shh. You know, I'm sure y'all probably, this is not funny, but this is, this is my story. Like, the fuck? Like, y'all probably thinking your mama was crazy as hell. Oh man, because um anyway. Okay. Okay, so my mom is very skittish, and just I don't know, like I don't know what's gotten up her butt, but um we're at TJ Fridays, and she looks like nervous, like like she's kind of looking around her surroundings, and um she's just a little bit more observant of her surroundings, but more than usual, because my mother was always aware of her surroundings, but she was a little bit too like jumpy, you know. I wasn't really sure why. Yeah, I wasn't sure why, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure why at all. Um, I remember um I was looking at her, and like I said, she just couldn't like look me in the eye. She was just looking around and just very like like you know how kids like when they have like a sugar rush and they're like and they start to like kind of shake a little bit, like almost having like muscle spasms. Like that was very similar to what my mother was like having, like going through, but it didn't look like she was like having a seizure or like she didn't have like a twitch or anything. She just like she looked like she was tweaking a little bit. To be honest with you, it looked like she was kind of tweaking, like she might have had a little bit of cocaine or something, or she may have been off a heroin binge. Like and that's kind of similar to how she was acting, but it didn't look like she was high off anything. You know what I mean? It just looked like she did have this like very dark energy, and she goes like when we went there, she she was wearing a hat. I don't remember what kind of hat, but I just remember it was covering her eyes, and she just had her face hidden. I didn't know why. Like I'm telling you, I didn't know why. And I remember like that day. I just felt like I needed to say this because that day was very odd, very strange. And I just remember my sister was very pissed off. I didn't remember. I didn't know why she was pissed off. She just seemed very irritated and very angry, very upset. And when I tried to talk to my sister and ask her what was going on, because most of the time my sister knew what was going on and I didn't. So I asked her, I was like, hey, what's up, B? Are you all right? And, she was just angry. She just didn't want to talk to me. I didn't know why. And I was trying to figure out what was going on. And my sister just kind of like walked away and just like, I don't know where she went. I think she might have went to the bathroom. I really don't know. And we were inside TGI Fridays and it was damn near empty. I think this was a Friday, like a Friday or a Saturday evening or something. I don't remember. It may have been a Tuesday. I'm just not sure. But I remember there was no school. I'm not sure if it was because it was summertime, or if it was a spring break, or what. But I think it might have been like it was either a Tuesday, a Friday, or a Saturday. I don't remember what particular day it was. And um, I don't know. My mother was just acting so strange. And I was standing over by the door, and I don't remember ordering from TGI Tuesdays. I mean TGI Tuesday. I mean TGI Fridays. I don't remember ordering. The only thing I remember was I was standing in line, and my mother was standing in front of me, and my sister was standing behind me, and um, my sister was just very angry, very upset, and I didn't know why. Um, I didn't know why at all, and I don't remember the rest of what happened because I could barely speak, so I tried not to talk so much. But yeah, I was in line. We were in line, and I don't remember what happened after that. I just remember leaving TGI Fridays and getting a ride home. And when I was in the car, um, I remember like leaving TGI Fridays, but I don't remember how we got home that night. I don't remember. I don't. Like I'm telling you, when I got punched in the stomach, it really messed with my memory because like I remember certain events very clearly, but I don't remember how I got there, how I got back. Like I said, you would think that because I wanted to go to TGI Fridays and I had to go through that unfortunate event to be able to get some. You would think that I would remember the food. You would think I remember what it tastes like. You think I remember sitting there, what the restaurant looked like. But I don't remember anything. I don't. I don't know what happened, and I don't remember. I don't even remember getting home that day. I just remember as soon as we left Christian's house, we went to TGI Fridays. We went inside, and that's it. That's all I remember. I don't remember the rest. I don't even remember what I ordered. And normally I order the same thing, but I just don't remember. Something just felt off about that day. And I wish I knew more because I think it would explain certain things that happened and why. But um, excuse me. So yeah. And then there's another memory that I wanted to bring up. This was, I want to backtrack to when I was talking about, when I was staying with my roommates. And my brother and my ex were staying with me when I was staying with some roommates. Now, when I left and I was by myself, um, and I was on my own, I noticed that my ex was blowing up my phone. Like she would text me every single day, more than once a day. I didn't know why, because I had made it clear to her that it was